Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses. Gang. This video is called How to Denigify Yourself, right? This video is not necessarily just for black people, it's for all you niggas. There's white, black, Latino, Hispanic. Yeah, I know the difference. There you go. Asian. Everybody, we all have niggas in the world, the community of the world. But because I am black and I'm familiar with our culture, a lot of these points are going to be specifically for black people. Now, we have a lot of ridicule for black people, um, but we don't have a lot of solutions, right? Now, I just watched a video by a guy named Aquarius Waive, and shout out to him. If you want, I can put the video in the description or the comments or what have you. But he made a video that I reacted to called Why I Abandoned the Black Culture or something along those lines. Now, when he was titling that and thought of that title and he spoke on it, he kept saying, "This is black culture." No, that's absolutely not black culture. That's nigga culture, okay? But if you feel like you're um, morally bankrupt, you don't have any values, your standards are low, your boundaries are messed up, you're just not a classy person, you're an ill-mannered person, and you want to make a sincere change, I need you to say this prayer. No, I'm just playing. We're not going to do that. I'm not about to play with God. Not today. Um, but I'm trying to offer you help. I'm trying to offer you healing. I'm not all the way there myself, but I was raised by some lovely, beautiful, educated, well mannered, uh, classy black people. But like a lot of black people, I was also raised by niggas, and I like to think of myself as a hybrid. Because I was exposed to nigga culture and because it is what it is. It is what it is. So first what we have to do is we have to identify a nigga. What is a nigga? A nigga simply means somebody who is behaviorally unintelligent. Somebody who's ill-mannered, low class, low vibrational, somebody who is unruly, rambunctious, somebody that is brutish, rude, temperamental, and someone who is not wise, someone who's not smart, someone who is toxic, self-destructive, destructive, and unhealthy in all ways, spiritually, mentally, physically, and a lot of times financially. Okay? Now, just because you come from the hood or an inner urban community, that does not necessarily automatically make you a nigga. There's niggas in the suburbs, there's niggas in rural communities, there's niggas in the hood, obviously. Um, but if you need help, I'm here to offer that to you. Now, where does nigga behavior, where does the nigga culture come from? In the black community, it comes from, of course, slavery. Because I didn't used to call it nigga culture. I still don't. I'm just doing this because it's more easily digestible. Nigga culture comes from the ill effects of slavery in conjunction with the effect of poverty in the black community and all communities. It all comes down to poverty, lack of education, the presence of there being a lack of love and a lack of being able to view self love as something that is imperative. Niggas don't love themselves. The whites, the blacks, the Latinos, the Hispanics, the Asians, those niggas, if they are a nigga or if they have a slave mentality, um, American, the African, the transatlantic slave trade mentality, they don't love themselves. Okay? And we're going to get into that a lot deeper later. And we're going to make these multiple parts because I have much too much to say. And I'm not going to cram this in one video. I'm going to try to be mindful of the time. So currently it's 6:24. Ideally, I want this first part to be a 10-minute video. Before we get into it, let me take a sip of that good stuff. I'm going to be breaking eye contact because I have my notes because I came prepared. See, that was the black man in me. That wasn't the nigga part because niggas don't like to take notes. So number one, well, how do you identify a nigga? You can't. That's what makes them the most dangerous people in the world, Craig. Yes, the world. I said it. You cannot identify a nigga just by looking at them. You just have to assume all people of all races are a nigga until they identify themselves or prove themselves otherwise. Prime example, I like to do reactions and I like to watch police video, body cam video footage. A lot of these people, they nigga up. But they don't appear to be niggas. They speak just how I'm speaking right now, or they're a little white girl, or they might be an Asian, and then they do the unthinkable. So stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. You can't assume anything about anybody. That's just like asking, well, how can you identify somebody that's of an alternative lifestyle? And if you don't know what that means, a part of the rainbow community, a part of the community, the GPS community. You might say, oh, well, he dresses like a, or she dresses like a, or they carry themselves, and that's the straightest person in the world. Just like you might see somebody that's a big, buff, masculine, acting tough dude that's always mean mugging people, and he has on 1,000 chains and big Timberland boots. Man, that nigga, he was on Sunset Boulevard shaking his salt shaker 2 days ago. And it's not even. It's Wednesday. You was on Sunset Boulevard shaking your tail feather on a Monday night. Super gay. Excuse me. Shout out to the LGBT community. But it just goes to show you, you can't assume anything about anybody's private life or anybody's present or future behaviors. So the first thing that we have to do is read about other cultures while you learn about your own culture. Okay? I'm just going to keep it because I originally made this for black people, so I'm going to just read my notes authentically. Read about other cultures while you learn about African culture if you're black, Irish culture if you're Irish, and Chinese culture if you're a Chinese nigga. If you don't want to read, which is going to hold you back, first start off with audiobooks, podcasts, documentaries, okay? Now, if you do want to get into reading consciously, what you should do is read things that interest you, but make sure that it's not based on niggerdom, okay? Read things that interest you, and the more that you build that muscle, then start reading things that are not as interesting, but very informative because you're on this journey to step out of those shoes. You know what I mean? If you need some leads, you can listen to Infinite Waters, 19 Keys, The Top Tier Man, Elliot Hulse, Earn at Your Leisure. Of course, these are all men because I'm a man and I'm making videos for men. But the ladies, take notes to these too because you have to actually see men that are not niggas being men, okay? That's what's gonna help you. You're gonna tap into that archetype and you're gonna draw that energy into your body, mind, and soul, so you could get that nigga out your body, mind, and your soul, okay? Just to give you a little tip on that, you don't want to listen to Infinite Waters, 19 Keys, Top 10 Man, Elliot Hulse, Earn at Your Leisure. You don't want to listen to them for 3 hours at a time. So what I do is, when I try to learn a new skill or new information, I might be studying cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. I might be trying to learn, critical thinking. I take it in small chunks. So like an hour of some education, and then I step into an hour, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes of something that's more entertaining. But it's not it's clean entertainment. So I like to watch stand up. So in this case, trying to denigify yourself, you might want to watch, some stand up or listen to some stand up comedy that is about other people's cultures. Or you might want to substitute that with a funny podcast that's not necessarily um, niggified. Okay? So that's some good game for you because you have to mix the left brain with the right brain activity so you could digest that. Um, and another thing that I do want to throw in, I didn't even put this in my notes. I have a book. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's about changing your identity. You do have to understand the way that you think of yourself and the way that you identify yourself is mm, top three most important things about life and your own psychology. So if you think you're a nigga and you don't know how to deprogram yourself after you watch it, well, you will because I'm giving you these good details. But it starts with how you actually view yourself. Psycho-Cybernetics, PSY. Well, you say it in your phone. Say Psycho-Cybernetics. Hey Siri, Psycho-Cybernetics. You got it. Boom. You can get it free online. There's an audiobook version, and you can spell it out. It's a very phonetic word. So, nextly, very informative book. I have it. I have the physical copy, and I have two different PDF versions on my phone, on both of my phones and my computer. So, nextly, you do want to get into other people's cultures, but just don't overwhelm yourself with learning different languages because you're just gonna be a nigga in two different languages. Nah, seriously. But nextly, build your confidence, have trust in yourself as a man or a woman that is a non-nigga because niggas don't have confidence. That's why they are so self-destructive. That's why they're so destructive to the community. That's why they get over they get in fights over women. But Aaron Moses, didn't the Romans and yeah, they did. But that was a whole different time. They had other things to do. That was the last resort. But build your confidence. Learn to trust yourself as a new person. Nicely, learn to control your emotions. Because a lot of people that identify as a nigga, bro, they didn't have that father figure to teach them self control, self discipline, self love. They didn't have that woman in the house to teach them about real love, authentic love, how to respond in certain situations, how to feel, how to process, how to understand how to let things go, how to understand how to care for the self. The foundation of your actual ego, your core self. A lot of niggas come from broken homes. And you might be saying to yourself, well, I know some trust fund babies that grew up with both parents. Yeah, but was his dad a doctor and his mom was a lawyer? He didn't have that care. He didn't have that emotional support like that. And he listened to Gucci Mane after he saw a Young Jeezy documentary, or he started hanging out with some cool people and they were doing the same thing, or he became addicted to this and tried that, and now he acts like a nigga. When I know he's not really like that. Okay. He didn't have parents, bro. He just had supporters. He just had sponsors. So he's a nigga now. Don't be like him. Nextly,